Welcome back to Kin in Line. I make this part 73. Here we've got a guy on a bicycle, arms folded, stationary, and I've sort of watercolored it later. But yeah, this was during we stopped en route to Maritzburg as we went through the sort of Malutis in the southern Free State. And at some point we got out and we walked to some caves where I think there were Bushman paintings. Can't really remember. Anyway, it's when I also did a quick sketch of my then father-in-law, Philip, which I colored later. So he was of Dutch descent. And I think you can see a bit of the Dutch characteristics here. I've done a few of him. Having lost my father when I was 17, I suppose, in a way, I did kind of appreciate having a father for a while. Always tricky, though, when you're married to their daughters. That's a more detailed drawing of him. Not really easily recognizable, though. And so this guy was with us, and he was crouching, maybe looking at some spoor on the ground or something. He kind of showed us around. See if I can get his face in. And then we were so much in the veld that we came across this fellow, which is a secretary bird, which also again managed to capture in a few lines. That's not a very convincing one. Another one of it. So it's a kind of a raptor, but it lives mainly by walking around in the veld and eating snakes and the like. They obviously can fly, but they're not really like most raptors, which float through the sky, hover. Never really got a great definitive drawing of him, unfortunately. I tried my best. Yeah, lots of attempts. But this thing was just moving all the time, so I guess that's why I struggled. And then this was, it's quite abstract really, but you can see the distance. On the left there is the mountain range, a sort of ridge along the top, and then this is kind of a cave in the foreground, sort of overhanging rock. There's a lot of that in the Malutis, the sandstone. We've gone out of that area again, but there is another drawing elsewhere, which I hope to find. And I'd forgotten, but this dog came with us as well. Caught him quite nicely. Yeah, and here you get a sense of the overhanging rock on the left. with the distant mountains and like farmland in the foreground. A flat sort of plain anyway. And yeah, another productive outing for me. So from that we move to I was in Port Elizabeth by this stage, and I took my paper down to the King's Beach, and I did all these sketches, which I ideally should also watercolor, but yeah, it's amazing what one can do in a day if you just have the inclination. It's quite a nice one. Although I don't know why he's got that sort of horn on his head. And rather large lad. Towel sort of clutched in his left hand. And another dirg, with a bit of a suggested sea behind it. It's all about picture making, This could have been my friend Kurt in the army. Maybe it was. Years later he came down. And this was a guy walked past, one of these chaps puffed up like obviously exaggerated, but their little chest and a bit of timber up the front there. Two very different looking people. You used to get a lot of these super confident older women, very well padded. I think this is one of them. But very relaxed in their own bodies, and why not? Quite like the fact that there's just a suggestion of, everything's just down to a few lines. And here's a slender woman. And a seated on the beach type lady. And from that subtle use of line to this seriously bold use of line. It's part of Algoa Bay in the distance there, going out to Cape Recife. Quite a powerful drawing, really, with those bold lines. Mother and child, just suggested. Yeah, these two. Oh yeah, look at this chap. You also get very thin men who proudly parade around on the beach in their Speedos. Here we had a rather large lady, legs somewhat exaggerated, playing beach tennis, whatever. volleyball, volleying the ball. Feminine shape in a few lines. And young girl, off the shoulder setup, probably with a cool drink in her hand. Oh, and look at the old container crane in the background. That puts it right on King's Beach, which is next to the harbour. And here's a couple coming onto the beach with a big hamper. Gee, they've got the kitchen sink here. Person with dog, presumably. And we've got two people playing this volleyball or whatever it's called. So I've got them both. Mr. Macho Man, muscles rippling, and his girlfriend, I suppose. Look how her head has become displaced from the neck. And it kind of works because it's got that jovial little smile on her face. She's jumping around with joy. And this guy's all serious. He's probably desperate to win this game. Yeah. So there's quite a few more of these. I'm going to conclude here with this powerful looking lady. You can imagine her ruling the roost. Yeah, so till next time, cheers.